so much. As I mentioned in my 1 minute intro, thank you so much for having me back at No Ties. I found this group probably about 4 years ago. I've been coming on and off. It just clashed with some of my in-person events. So it's great to be back. And I've met some lovely people here who I've actually taken out for coffee when I've been over in Scotland because I've really appreciate their help and support. So, a bit of a scary headline today: why your network isn't getting you clients and what to do instead. So, thanks so much for being here today. If you want to pop any questions in the chat, and unless there's anything burning, we'll come to those at the end, or Derek or Duncan can interrupt me if I'm in full flow. So first of all, a little bit about me. So I used to work for two of the big banks in the UK, all through the banking crisis, if you remember that far back. What fun those years were. I've also lived in a tent. I wasn't homeless. I was working as a courier back in my 20s. I think I remember that far back. I've lived in that castle that's in Fife, just in one corner. I didn't own the whole building. And I studied in Paris for some time, didn't have that view either. So, but we can all dream, can't we? And then in 2018, I moved across to the Netherlands to support my husband's career. And now we have the Chief Disruption Officer, the Red Labrador, who's downstairs behaving himself, hopefully. And yeah, and I just thought to myself, it'd be too easy to go back into corporate. So why don't I start a business? Why not? I like a challenge. Anybody that knows me knows I like a challenge. So I've got two quick questions. If you want to pop the answers in the chat. So first question, networking, does it bring you clients? Please let me know in the chat. I'm going to try and read this on the other screen while I can do that. Let's have a look. It might be not yet. Oh, we've got some yeses. Yes and no. Ooh, some stories there. A lot like that. No and no. Oh, Mukta, we need to fix that. We'll find out. Yes, Evan, we definitely will. Okay, so not yet. Oh, a real mixed bag of questions. Answers to that question like that. Personal network. Yes. Oh, does that mean we need to leverage some business network, online word of mouth? Yeah, lovely as well. I suppose the follow-on question or things for people to think about is when they do connect to people, make sure you can capture how people found you. All right, so how about LinkedIn? So Evelyn said LinkedIn only one client. Right, let's see if we can change that. Rarely as I find it. This executives thing really. Okay, yes and no. Got a bit of a yes and no. Sadly, no. Rochelle, we're going to change that. Make that my personal challenge today. We'll find out. Potential collaborations, but no conversations yet. Aha. Okay. To volunteer and offer to talks on LinkedIn. Okay. All right. I'd love to know, Karen, if you're going on those talks. And if you are, do share with us and we'll come along and cheer you on those talks. Okay. Thank you for that interaction. All right. So, first of all, most people leave networking events with nothing. I've had people come to me and said, I went to your event and I didn't get any business. Now, my events are structured in various ways. And part of it is not getting somebody to sign a contract as part of a networking session. Mine are educational, conversational, and about giving you bite-sized learning things that you can take forward. But I don't want people to go out networking and having nice conversations. And also just collecting LinkedIn connections. It's not a competition. And actually, every now and again, I cleanse my list. But if you're getting zero actual business, then we need to change that. But if it's a structured networking event, there may not be time to build in that session the know, like, and trust. So the follow-up is where the magic is going to happen. So that's what you're going to need to do next. So again, some people think I went to that networking event. I've been to one networking event this month. I tick that box. But did you talk to people? More importantly, did you listen to people? Or did you just hand out your business cards like they were, I don't know what dollar notes they would be, $100 notes? I'm sure $1 notes wouldn't be enough. Or were you just collecting LinkedIn profiles to get you up to the next level? But what networking really is turning those conversations into visibility A great way to do that is to share something about this person you've just met. Again, if it's appropriate to what you do, you had a good conversation, is that's such a really generous way to get visible, is to reshare an offer, a post, anything they're doing right now. If they need help, reshare it to your network. And that helps build the conversations to trust and also opportunities. But networking alone rarely gets results because people can forget you. If you sat at the back, if you took your friend with you. Now, I'm not against people taking friends with them to networking events, especially if they're traveling, they've not been there before, they're new to networking. I advocate people taking a supporter with them. But then if I know that you come to one of my events together, I'm going to sit you at separate sides of the room. It's not like the naughty people sat at the back of the class passing notes to each other, all looking at each other's phones. You're there for a reason. You've invested your time, your energy, and sometimes some money. So get the most out of it. And if you remembered for two people just chit chatting and you came with your friend, talked to your friend, and left again, then you're not really getting the most out of it. And you're not being very approachable. Also, is your message clear? When you do your elevator pitch, is it within the 20 seconds, 1 minute time frame? Are you sharing what the problem is that you solve? It's not a potted CV of your experience, unless it is that particular type of forum, but listen to what other people have said in the room. And have you got something that you can help them with? The next one, this can be a little bit wobbly as well because life gets in the way sometimes, is follow-ups. But do you follow up? Do you go to an event and think, tick, it's done? Oh, I didn't get any business. Or did you actually help somebody that you met, had a conversation, had a follow-up coffee in person, online, shared a blog or a post or a tool with them, or did you just leave them as a connection on LinkedIn? Also, do you just disappear after the event? Sometimes you can go to an event. I'm not going to talk about any particular networking groups, but sometimes you might go to one and it's not how you expected. But again, do you just think, that's it, I'm never going to go again? Do you go back to the group leader and say, it's not what I expected? Or is it always like this? Or is there something I need to prepare differently? If you've invested time, money, energy, you need to get the most out of it. And maybe there was something off at that event or the subject wasn't for you. But get in touch with the leader. If they are somebody that is serious about their business, they'll appreciate your feedback and act on that. So do that rather than leaving a bad review somewhere as well, because that doesn't really help anybody. But visibility builds familiarity. You know the terms know, build, know, like, trust. And trust really builds opportunities, because even if you meet somebody and it takes 3 years until that business opportunity to come, you're that person, that you're known in that industry for what you're doing. So LinkedIn, what do you think? Do you think it's a social media platform? Do you want to give me a yes or a no in the chat? Oh, sorry. See you next time on chat. I think we've missed her. What do we think? Social media? No, not really. No, no. Aha. Seems to be. Okay, we're getting really mixed results there. So no, not really. And I would say it's not a social media platform, it's a networking platform. But yes, it's social media because we do need to entertain to some sort of way, shape, or form. But I'll get onto that in a minute. But this is where the networking continues. So people that are very new to business, I'll say to them is just get your LinkedIn created. Oh, I don't know what to write. It's not your CV. You just need a photo on there, some basic details to go to that event. I've had somebody recently that said they won't come to my in-person event until they've had the business cards printed. Well, that's way too late. Just come meet people. but they do need a way to connect to you. And LinkedIn is the best way because then you can improve that over time and then they can see the posts that you share as well. So make sure that's on there. Absolute basic if you've just started is who you help, what problem you solve, and why they should remember you. And keep it short and succinct. It's about supporting a conversation, not confusing people. I'm quite multi-passionate. I've got quite a few different bits to my business, but maybe you just put one in your headline and test that out and see if that's the one that floats. We don't need to share, especially when we get to a certain age, we've had quite a career. Have you ever had that situation where you met somebody and you thought, oh, this is great, we've got a really great click, and then nothing? Or they send you a message that doesn't sound like them, that sounds like a AI bot or something. Or they try and sell to you and it's something you didn't discuss. I see quite a few of these businesses starting up that I can run your LinkedIn for you. And I said, that is the most time consuming thing of my business. And it's for me to do because for me, it's about personal connection. But if you're not following up, then you're just socializing and it's going to cost you time, money, energy. So here's a really simple way to follow up. And you can do this even on quite a busy online event. As soon as you can connect to somebody, you can say, hey, Derek, it was great to meet you today at No Ties Networking. So at least when you go back to Derek's account, you can see where you met. We don't always need a fancy CRM, database, spreadsheet to get started. So again, don't put barriers in front of yourself when you're starting your business or growing your business, is just use the tools that are out there. Even better when you've got a bit more time. So maybe you put time on one side, or you have a follow-up time straight after the event. It's great to meet you at whatever the event was. You mentioned you were struggling with whatever it was. I recently shared something about that on LinkedIn that might help, and then send them a link. You're not selling to them. It was about a discussion you had. It was about a problem they told you about. But don't be shy about sharing information with them. So it's about keeping the conversation going. You're being useful, you're following up, you're keeping your promises, but you're not being salesy. So here's the 3 C's. Connect, but have intentional conversations. So connect, and you can connect to people you don't know on LinkedIn. You don't have to meet them at a networking event, but tell them why you're going to connect to them. Now, I help people with LinkedIn writing, and I've helped businesses get leads without using the paid version. It's using the connections. I think you've got 4 per month, something like that, but using them to your advantage. So a couple of ways you can do that is use those free ones and say to somebody why you're connecting to them. Another thing you can do is ask somebody you know who knows them to introduce you. You can do a 3-way introduction on LinkedIn. And the third thing you can do is comment on one of the posts, but again, not a cheesy, sleazy comment. It's why you find their post interesting, why you think you're going to have a great conversation with them. And then you can send a connection request without using the blurb because you won't have enough of those on if you're on the free account, and they should then accept you because they know who you are. Connect with context, like we mentioned, is why. Tell them why, because as I said, it's not like Pokemon, we're not collecting people. It's about connecting the right people as well. Because just having a lot of people in an industry that you can't help I don't think it sees any benefit whatsoever. And it'll also confuse other people that connect to you and think, is she still in that industry, or is she now in the building trade? Why is she connected to all these builders? So it confuses your community as well. And then it's about the conversion. So again, listen to those conversations you've had and how you help that person. Is there a post you can write about that? Again, not We're not talking about breaking somebody's confidentiality, but if there was a really general thing that a lot of people are saying is, or you can also approach them and say, I've loved this conversation. Can I use a little bit of that and share a bit more? And they said, well, you really helped me with it. I'm happy for you to do that. You know, in your industry, how far you can push it with being confidential. And there you go. You've got some posts that you can put out about that conversation and how you can help people that's relevant. So most people network occasionally. I see people again that say to me, I'm going to come networking when I'm not so busy. But you've heard of the term pipeline. You can't just turn on a tap and those clients magically be there. And I say to people, especially when they're starting out and they're like, I need to do my website first, I need to do this first. And it's like, you just need to go out and start talking to people. They can help you shape what you're doing, touch base with people you've not been in touch with for a while. It's not about thousands of followers. If I saw a viral content I'd shared, I probably wouldn't believe it. Again, don't overthink your branding. As long as you've got a headshot that looks like you, that's important. And it's about visibility, consistency, clear positioning, and being your voice, not AI. AI can help you, but it's about you. When they meet you in person, are they going to know you? But the real issue isn't a lack of skill for business owners. I see this time and time again, visibility, um, not knowing what to say. You shouldn't be sat in front of LinkedIn with a blinking cursor, sort of stressed about what it is. I say to people, there is no posting police because they'll say to me, how many times a week do I need to post? And I said, whatever's right for you. Because if you haven't got anything to say or share, it's probably not the right day for you. Waiting for the things to be perfect. You put a post out with a typo on it, just proves you're not AI. That's great. And the fact that people point that out to you, that means that they read your post. So every now and again, I can be a little bit of a guerrilla tactics and sharing things with typos in it to see if we can kick the algorithm. And just think about it as well. Opportunities usually go to the people that stay visible, people that are front of mind, people that are known for what they do in their business. I think I'm running about out of time. But I just want to share is the people that are getting clients are following up. I put quickly, but my follow-ups could maybe be better. But it's about the rhythm that suits you. Maybe you choose 30 minutes a day, 1 hour on a Friday, whatever it suits you. Staying visible online, like I mentioned, sharing other people's posts, sharing useful information, um, building relationships consistently, showing up, and making it easy, making you memorable for what you do in your industry. And it's not about one conversation, it's about being seen. So here's a few practical steps. I don't know if you want to take a quick snip of this, or maybe it's something we'll share afterwards.
Julie, you're not running out of time in terms of
Okay.
just thought I'd come in and say that.
Yeah.
We're okay all the way in terms of question and answer and discussion till 1:30. That gives us another sort of
Lovely.
over 10 minutes. So
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. I'll slow down a bit now then. So here's some steps for you to take, a little bit of homework for you. And if you need any help with you can just drop me a message on LinkedIn. So first of all, review your LinkedIn headline. Again, is it word salad? Is it everything I've done in my life up to this point? Or is it, if you think about why are people going to visit your LinkedIn profile? Is it front and center? Is it clear? Maybe you want to ask somebody that's not in your industry, do they understand what this is? And just make sure you can get a bit of clarity on that. Here's when you can use AI. If you know what your ideal client avatar is, you could go and ask AI, does this match my LinkedIn headline? So again, if you've trained your AI a bit, mine's yeah. I'm using a specialized business one that's quite tough on me. I don't always like to hang out with it. It's not very friendly. Next one is follow up with 3 past networking contacts. So again, people have contacted me and said, I've got the right contact, but I said I was going to follow up and a month's gone by. I'm too embarrassed. Well, I don't know about you, but sometimes life gets in the way. Things slip down the to-do list. You go on holiday, you need to do it when you come back. It just doesn't happen. So just tell them, just be upfront and say, I missed that, didn't I? I hope things are well with you. Here's the thing, here's the blog, here's the tool, whatever it was. Or shall we have a coffee chat? Because again, when you get an appointment in the diary, it's a bit more intentional rather than I'll get back to you at some point. So please move past the embarrassment type thing and just follow up. So if you're not already posting on LinkedIn, do people want to put in the chat how often they post on LinkedIn? Say like Jane Wilson, you're amazing. Once a week, 2 to 3 every week or so. Great. Yeah. Okay. Haven't started yet, Adam. Looking forward to the first one. 5 times so far. Wow. Well, now I've done the chit chat. How frequent are your chit chats? Are they monthly, Carolyn?
Whenever anybody books in, so it might be 2 or 3 times a week, but I would only post up maybe twice. So I used to post on a Monday and a Friday. Algorithms change, so I'm just sort of playing around with that at the moment.
Yeah. I was going to say, you can also have evergreen posts, which is resharing your previous podcasts that you've had, Carolyn. So in and between is just dust them off and reshare them. And again, with other people, it's, whatever your best performing blog was ever. And I did have a client that said, can I delete previous posts? And I was just like, why would you want to do that? And it's like, because they're going to see that I've repeated a post, and it's like, nobody's going to. There's more visual platforms like Instagram. You can easily see when posts have been, but I'd be quite surprised if somebody was going to browse your LinkedIn and go, they posted that last month and they posted it the month before. So your best performing blogs, how to book a call, what your services are, with prices if possible, or prices start from. Again, don't be shy about this. Any upcoming talks you've got, events, and have we met yet? Maybe do one of those once a quarter. If you're okay with sharing your journey of moving countries, again, it's totally up to you how personal you get with this. Did you know I've moved countries? Did you know I've moved towns? Did you know my business has changed slightly? Did you know I've got this new product or service? For Carolyn, it's like a month to Mother's Day, a month to Father's Day, those sort of reminders. And, the first, make sure you give people enough notice for any sort of events, whether it's birthdays and things like that, because people forget and people go, oh, yeah, that's the right person. But I need to see it maybe 3 times to remind myself to actually press the button and take some action. So my final thought, opportunities rarely come from one event. It does sometimes. And the events I run, I tend to tag people. We have a LinkedIn event and I tag everybody on it, and I send an email before the event and I say, go and connect to those people. And you've got a reason to connect to them. You can say, I'm going to meet you at this event next week. So again, it's not a completely cold introduction. So they are going to connect to you. I'll probably say about 99% of them are going to connect to you. So do the pre-work before a networking event. Don't just bundle in last minute, sweating, missed your train, whatever it might be, is do the work in advance, especially if it's a really big event and you're not sure if you're actually going to be able to speak to them, is saying, hey, I'm going to the same event as you on this day. I just want to say, if I don't manage to talk to you, it looks like it's a really big one. Let's catch up sometime. And that shows that, you're interested in that person. And if you do manage to speak to an event, wonderful. So it's all about relationships, is visibility, consistent, and staying top of mind. And as I mentioned about being known in your industry, that you're the right person. And the people who get results from networking aren't the people that just come and go, come and go. It's the people that show up consistently and also help each other. So if we're not connected already, you can scan my QR codes, or you can scan one of these as well. If you want more visibility, you want some inspiration, you want some accountability and consistency, just drop me a note and we can have a quick free 30-minute chat. And I'd love to connect to you all. So thank you very much.